Niagara Falls is a beautiful multinational destination for waterfall views, hikes, and tons of activities. If you're planning on coming, here's a look at how we spent one day on both sides of the falls. But first, some quick background. Niagara Falls is located on the border of the United States and Canada, in New York and Ontario. They are about 12,000 years old, formed by melting glaciers which carved out a river and flowed over a steep cliff. There are two falls in total, the American Falls and the large Horseshoe Falls, named for its shape. It's been a site of stunts and spectacle, as well as a source of hydroelectricity for New York and Ontario. We arrived on the American side in New York and would eventually meet our friends on the Canadian side. We came in September and the weather was nice and sunny. It was a Saturday and there were tons of other tourists there with us, but it's a big enough attraction that we were all spread out enough to not feel constantly overwhelmed. We found parking along the water a bit away from the main falls area, which ended up being great because we walked along the river rushing towards the falls, and it kept getting stronger and stronger and forming rapids as we got closer and closer, and it was really beautiful and powerful and energizing, and I really loved it. Once you reach the drop, wow, the power of the falls is exhilarating, and you're right on them, and you can see Canada on the other side of the river. We walked around Goat Island, which had beautiful nature trails and viewing platforms so you could really enjoy the falls from different points of views. At the observation tower, we took the elevator down for $1 to a short hike called the Crow's Nest, which is really just a staircase. Most people there had just finished their Maid of the Mist boat tour and wore rain ponchos that they give you, but we went without and just tried avoiding getting completely drenched. It was a blast to stand underneath the falls and feel its mist and hear its roar. I also love the nature at the bottom of the falls. It's full of bright green moss and misty rainbows. You can also pay to experience the Cave of the Winds, which looks like you get a lot more water, but we felt that this experience was enough. We joined the boat tour masses back up the elevator to the observation deck for more views. Our friends were waiting for us in Canada, so we headed back to the car to cross the border over the appropriately named Rainbow Bridge. The Canadian side of the falls was much more crowded. It's basically one long walkway with amazing panoramic views of the entire falls. Parking was difficult to find, so we parked in a neighborhood about a 15-minute walk away from the falls. If you do that, just make sure to check for parking signs. On this side, you can do attractions like walk through the tunnel in Journey Behind the Falls, or visit the Niagara Parks power station, and even zip line. They all seem amazing, but we opted for the famous Maid of the Mist cruise tour. We bought our tickets on site from a kiosk and headed down to the boat to wait in line, where we were handed red Canadian ponchos instead of the blue ones they give you in the US. We took a spot up front on the bottom deck. The views from the boat were gorgeous. The mist hits you more and more aggressively as the boat approaches the main falls. It's very exciting and fun and lasts maybe 3 minutes but feels much longer. Many people had made their way to the inside of the boat, but we stayed out and got drenched. The Canadian side of Niagara Falls is definitely more geared to tourists. There are more hotels and gimmicky restaurants and attractions. It felt a bit like being in a mini theme park. There's also Skylon Tower that you can pay to go up for their observation deck or enjoy a meal at their Revolving restaurant. At night, the falls are lit up with a light show. It's really beautiful and worth seeing if you're here at night. They also have scheduled fireworks shows, so look that up if you want to visit during one of those. Overall, Niagara Falls exceeded my expectations. I expected waterfalls, but I was surprised by all the surrounding nature and just the sheer beauty. We also didn't need to spend much money to enjoy a full day there. Both sides have a lot to offer, and I'm glad we got a glimpse into both and can't wait to return again to experience more.